Hey everybody, I am so excited because today I want to do a little demo of part of the new brush pack that I created called Molly's Artist Toolbox. And I have a whole section in the brush pack that is all chalk style brushes. So I'm really excited and I'm going to show you how I use them. So I'm going to start by going into Procreate App, and I already laid out a chalkboard background. And I'm just going to hop right into the brush pack. You can see it's going to be under the section that's called pencil. And I can use all of these to create different effects. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this piece. I'll probably speed it up here and there just so you don't have to watch me create the entire thing. And then maybe slow it back down if I have any little tips and tricks that you can follow along with. If you are interested in purchasing these brushes, I will link them below along with a coupon code that you can use to pick them up. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start off with the Techie brush, and I'm going to keep the streamline at none because at this point I just want to like come up with a sketch of what I'm going to letter. Okay, I have a pretty good sketch now, and I'm just gonna go back in and kind of clean it up a little bit. And I'm really enjoying using the Techie brush, so I think I'm gonna stick with that for now. And kind of once I fill in the letters, maybe I'll go to one of the larger brushes just to show you how they work. All right. I am going to create a new layer and turn down the opacity of the original layer. And turn up the streamline on the brush so I can get a nice smooth line. I'm actually going to turn down the opacity a little bit more. Okay, so I'm not totally sold on a few areas of the drawing, so at this point I can kind of go back in and clean them up. I don't like the way this connects. It just seems super like contrived, so not digging it. I'm gonna go ahead and erase it. I am also not super digging this area right here. I feel like it just isn't filled up in the way that I would like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead, erase what I had, zoom out so I can see what I'm doing, and go back in and just fill it up a little bit better. I do a lot of like flipping around. The reason I do that is so I can go with the natural motion of my wrist when I do curves. Just makes it look a little nicer, I guess. Okay, so at this point, I probably would go back in and fill in all of the line work. And I do a little bit adjusting as I go. I think I'm going to just use the Techie pencil because I really like it. And then maybe at the end I can, I don't know, give you a little demo of the other brushes, but I'm super digging the Techie brush with this. You can see like, okay, if I go bigger, oops, I definitely shouldn't have the streamline up like I do. So I'm going to go in and turn it down. So if I go bigger, it makes it so I can fill in larger masked in areas, but it definitely gives it a little bit of a different effect versus if I make it smaller, you can see it just like feels different, and it's a very subtle change, but it is absolutely like a real aesthetic difference between the two. So I think I'm going to try it larger and see what it looks like. I usually go on the small side with my brushes, so maybe not have it at full scale, but larger than I usually would, just to save on time. Okay, so as you can see, I filled in all of kind of those negative space areas, and now I've got a little pro tip for y'all. I am going to take the Techie brush that I'm using, and I'm actually going to turn it so it's much smaller again. And at this point, I am going to use this super small technical brush to go back in and build up some of these hairlines so they feel super, not super, but they feel pretty consistent across the board. And also go in and like make all these, edges super sharp and like looking nice. And this is actually a technique that I use when I'm doing actual chalkboard work, like stuff that's not digital. I use regular chalk to mass in large shapes. And then I use a small charcoal pencil, like a white charcoal pencil, to clean up edges and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we can connect after I finish that. Okay, so now I have the lettering finished up. I'm going to add some fun little details. And I am going to do it in the same way that I did the lettering. I'm just going to figure out the outline that I want, and then I'm gonna fill it in with a larger chalk brush size, and then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and make sure that those details are cleaned up. All right, let's get started. Okay, now I'm thinking about adding some like little dots into the mix to add some fun texture as a background. I'm going to see if I can get away with my, let's see here, coal brush or mono moon. Let's try this one. Okay. I'm a little bit nervous that it might be too transparent, but we're going to give it a go and see how it turns out. Yeah, it's pretty transparent. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through the whole piece and add little dots where I want it to like fill in a texture to the background. Okay, it's looking super cute now. At this point, all I want to do is colorize the line work, and this just kind of takes a little bit of experimentation to figure out what color I want to go where. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I switched that color of the dots back and forth like a million times just because I wanted to see which one I liked better. And I think I'm going to go with the pink. So that is it. That's how I use these super fun chalk brushes They are the pencil brushes in my brand new brush set. If you're interested in picking them up, you can do so using the link that I'm going to include below. I'm also including a coupon code if you would like to use that and save some money, because, you know, we all like to save some moolah. And just to circle back to the brushes that I actually used, I used the Techie brush for the lettering, and I used the Mono Moon for the background like dot texture. And that's it. Hopefully you really enjoy these brushes as much as I do.